Good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook video where I'm going to discuss with you all the major dollar pairs and gold. What we can see is that the daily time frame on the DXY is still extremely consolidative over here. Not a lot is happening and we have been consolidating for the last few weeks. If I look at the immediate market structure on the 4-hour, then what we did is we swiped the highs, we made a breakdown. We came back in towards the supply zone, made another breakdown. And yesterday on the market open, we started to push a little bit higher in towards this supply zone. If we then go to the 1-hour time frame, what we can see is that we took some liquidity above this high, retraced back in towards premium prices, and now we started to trade down a little bit lower once again. But for me, it's still a little bit undecisive for now. One of two things can happen. We can, if we go to the 1-hour, you have some liquidity over here, but also over here. So what can happen now is we take out that liquidity and then we see the next push in towards the highs. On the other hand, what can also happen is that the DXY wants to go down lower. So we break down, we come back, and then we break down lower once again. If I go to the daily time frame, then there is still possible upside, but on the other hand, also possible downside because there's still demand open underneath here. Could also be that we trade towards that demand zone and then see a push in towards the highs. It's going to be a little bit more waiting for me because this is still sideways price action. We did swipe the high, now we did swipe the low. On the other hand, you can also say that we are now ready after manipulation up, down to continue the up higher. But I'll have to see. Not a lot of clear price action of the DXY as of now. And I really want it to choose a direction so I can trade the different pairs in that direction. If we then look at EURUSD, then also pretty much consolidative underneath here. I do have an alert set on this 4-hour candle here, and I'll explain why in a little bit. What happened yesterday is that we continued down lower, swiping some internal liquidity. And on the 1-hour, that's a little bit more clear. We swiped liquidity, and now we've taken out the liquidity above this move. Why I want to see this high go is because if we can break that high, maybe pull back to here, then a push up, and then a retracement down, and then I want to look for some continuation longs towards at least this liquidity over here. But yeah, DXY really has to choose a direction, because if DXY continues up higher eventually, then we're just going to push down lower on EU, and otherwise if we can push up higher on or push down lower on DXY, then of course EU can start pushing up higher towards these liquidity levels. So as of now, there is nothing to do on EU just yet. If we then look at GU, then GU is still between this high and this low. So we're in kind of no man's land here on the 4-hour. If we then look at the 1-hour, then I do still want to trade towards this liquidity here. We do have some 1-hour order flow that got created over here. So we have the 1-hour order flow. Then we have a demand zone over here. We actually tapped into this one here, so you can say that this is now also a demand zone. It's like really, it's not that clear for me. I'm just looking for things that make sense currently because everything is consolidative. If I look at this immediate structure here, then yes, we pushed down lower, took out a lot of liquidity, and we connected the demand zone underneath here. Then this becomes your liquidity, so a push down and then some confirmation for a push up towards this liquidity level could be a nice thing. that would mean that the DXY trades down lower as well. So we really need to wait for some confirmation there. If we go to NZDUSD, then NZDUSD pushed up massively last Thursday and Friday. We have a open demand zone over here. We touched that demand zone with this candle and this wick over here, but it's not really strong. And what I would like to see is a push down, then the confirmation that we want to go up, and then on the retracement enter, or with a buy stop over here if price action is nice, and then we can trade in towards the highs. This would mean that DXY pushes up a little bit higher and then dumps down lower once again. But there is, of course, not a lot of correlation between DXY and the NZD USD pair. So if we can swipe the low one more time, then our fractal becomes also a lot lower. I can place a buy stop on the fractal high. If we break that, I do think we can trade up higher from there, but we need to wait a little bit longer. If we look at AUDUSD, then what happened is that we came back in towards the demand zone. We took out liquidity, and now we're starting to break up higher once again. Also on this pair, what I would like to see is that we break above this 4-hour fractal structure, then have a pullback. If we look at where that fractal is situated, it's around the 71,908. If we then go here and we look at the 71,908, then that's over here. So a push higher would be pretty nice, maybe even a break of structure. Then we come back for this liquidity underneath here, or the liquidity underneath here, a change of character, and then some continuation longs all the way towards these highs over here. But that's like a lot of room still for AUDUSD to push up higher from here. Also together with that DXY pushing down lower, that would be a really good trade setup there. USDCAD, if we look at that, then we had a massive correction in towards the downside. We took out a lot of liquidity. Then we created on the 1 hour a push up and then some manipulation down. Now we've been pushing up once again. Yesterday I was looking for something like this, where we could pull back in towards the liquidity that was left over here, then see a change of character and then some continuation in towards the upside, together with then of course DXY pushing up higher, or CAD pushing down lower. And yeah, because like not a lot has happened since last night, and I am still going to monitor something like this. There is no order for me anymore, but I did place a alert on this level because I want to keep a close eye on this pair once it reaches that liquidity low. If we then go to USDJPY, then I have been talking about that it's kind of back on my radar. There is a really nice 1 hour setup to be taken over here, where we had a break of structure in towards the upside on the 1 hour. Then we can take this as our whole swing, 1 hour swing structure. What happened here is that this low, we pushed up higher, broke structure, buyers came into the market, we pushed underneath that low, so we took all of those early buyers out. Then we had a push up once again, leaving a lot of liquidity underneath these lows and even underneath this low. So if we can just come back somewhere around here and then show us a change of character and then continuation in towards the highs, that would be a really nice 1 hour setup there. Only downside towards this setup is the fact that we are really close to that 160 level, and that's a really dangerous area for USDJPY, because 160 is a level where they like to intervene, where they sell their dollars to buy back the yen to make it a little bit stronger. So yeah, if I get pushed into this position and the intervention comes, then it will drop down massively once again, as happened over here. And yeah, you can just be spread out of your position. So Maybe I'll take this position once it's there on some challenges and not on live capital. I have to decide. Don't know yet. But it's a little bit risky to be longing around these levels. Fundamentally, though, yes, I want to see USDJPY push up higher. But yeah, with this risk of intervention, it's a bit difficult to take a position that I'm really certain about. If we then look at USDCHF, what we can see is that we pushed up higher yesterday, also on the 1 hour a little bit clearer because this pair is just consolidative overall, it's just going sideways. But what happened is that we took out liquidity above this high over here. Let me mark that out. Liquidity was taken there, and now we started to push down a little bit lower, but we are still fractal bullish between this high and this low. So what I need is a push up and maybe even like this, then a break of that 4 hour structure, and then maybe some continuation shorts in towards the downside. As of now, if it decides to just push down lower from here, then that's completely fine. And yeah, I'll be not in a trade because it's not technically good for me yet, because I need to trade in line with that 4 hour fractal structure to be the most certain about the position. If we then go to gold, then gold pushed up higher yesterday. If we look at the 4 hour, then what we can see is that we had a push down lower. We are now pushing in towards the upside. We are fractal bearish. Yeah, we're fractal bearish. It's exactly on the 0.5 line. We are fractal bearish, so yeah, price should continue down lower from here. If we can see a break of the 4 hour structure once again in towards the upside and then a pullback, then yes, I am looking for some potential longs, but as of now, there's just nothing to do yet. If we then look at silver, then silver took out a lot of liquidity underneath these lows that I was already looking for. We had a 4 hour push in towards the highs. We came back in towards the demand zone here, and now we started to push up higher. If we can, like the thing is that this is our, let me check, this is our last supply zone for now. That's pushed price down lower. Didn't break with a candle, but did swipe the liquidity. So in order for order flow to really change, we need to push above that and then see a retracement and then some continuation in towards the highs. But if we just look at like the immediate market structure, then you could say that we are 4 hour fractal bullish here. Then this is our demand zone that took out also a lot of liquidity. We came back in towards that demand zone, and this can push up price higher from here. So yeah, that there are like two scenarios. And then if we look at the 1 hour, then there was a lot of consolidation over here. This is just like a barcode. Yes, this took out some liquidity over here, and then we started to push up higher. So let's see what we can get. Maybe even something like this, then come back in towards the 3 monthly, weekly, daily, everything open, take out some liquidity, and then see a push up higher. If I would take a position somewhere over here, then it would probably be something like this with my stop underneath this low or underneath the swing low, and then for a push in towards the highs, 1 to 2 risk to reward. But in order for this to happen, we need to really start to create some bullish order flow as well, and that's not just ready yet. So going to be waiting a little bit longer on silver for that. Only real nice move that was there was copper in this instance. Copper just flying towards the moon, soon to be making a new higher high. Yeah, I missed the opportunity to trade this. I would have liked if we had taken out liquidity underneath this low. So if this would be a little bit lower, take out liquidity here, then a break in towards the highs. We did now break over here, then we didn't even came back in towards that demand zone. So yeah, would have liked if it was like this, and then here some change of character, buy stop in towards the highs, and then a new higher high. Didn't happen, so no positions to be taken for me there. And that's kind of it for now. Been really inactive on the Forex pairs last few weeks. And, you know, that's completely fine. Once DXY chooses a direction, then I'll be there to shoot my positions and just be ready once again. Guys, thanks for watching today's episode. Leave a like, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like videos like this, if you want to follow my journey. And I'll hope to see you guys on the next one tomorrow. Bye.